Welcome back, everyone. So I went ahead and did a little bit of a battery comparison between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 11. And what I can tell you is, first of all, I'll be the first one to admit, this is just a comparison just to see kind of in a ballpark which one has a better battery life. This is not the end all be all, but I did kind of make a battery scale that I made. It's officially from me. Don't take it from anyone else. So for this comparison and all the other battery comparisons I'm doing, I'm going to use this specific scale. I'll post it on the screen right now. And what it basically means, if it's in the ballpark, 5 to 10% or whatever difference, then that's kind of how I would kind of categorize it as. Now, I came to a conclusion after testing a ton of phones in this comparison that there's a humongous issue with iOS 14. I'll get into that in a second. So basically how this test works, I take both phones and I do exactly the same things on them whenever I do them. Put them on standby time a lot. I put them all in full max brightness and I close out of everything in the background. So I try to make it as fair as possible. And all I want to see is which one lasts longer and by how much. And based on that, I just go to my scale and do it. So like I said, I do the exact same thing on both of them. So the very first thing I did was I just kind of let them stand around and stand by for about an hour. And an hour and 3 minutes in, I saw that the iPhone 12, just on standby time with max brightness and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything on, I pretty much saw that it was at 91%, where the iPhone 11 was at 80%. And in my head, I was like, that doesn't really make any sense because the iPhone 11 actually has a bigger battery than the iPhone 12, and technically the panel is lower resolution. So I wasn't really too sure why that was happening, but I figured, maybe it's like a battery calibration thing. I know that doesn't make any sense. I figured it was something like that. So I kind of let that slide. I checked back in and I tried to check them in more periodically, but I forgot to. So I just kind of would go on with my day and just come back later on. So about an hour and 45 minutes later, so about 2 hours and 48 minutes in, after I think I played a video of just like a countdown or something like that, I saw that the iPhone 12 was at 64% and the iPhone 11 was at 41%. So I was seeing a huge decrease in battery life from my iPhone 11. And compared to my iPhone 12, I was so confused. I'm like, why does the iPhone 12 have that much better battery life? It doesn't really make any sense. And so eventually, a couple hours later, I should have checked in earlier, but eventually I saw that my peripheral vision, I saw my iPhone 11 die, and I pretty much found out that within 4 hours and 51 minutes in, my iPhone 12 had 41% battery life, and my iPhone 11 was pretty much dead at that point. So in this specific test, you can see how I would assume that the iPhone 12, and how a lot of people would assume the iPhone 12 pretty much will already have a better battery life than the iPhone 11. Now, take that as you will, but I don't think the iPhone 12 actually has the better battery. Maybe a little bit, but this is not like, there's no way it's this big of a difference, because the iPhone 12, technically in this test from the scale that I made before I even started doing this comparison, I saw that it technically hit in that extreme difference between the battery life. So if you're going from an iPhone 11 to iPhone 12, you're going to see extreme differences in battery life. But that just does not make any sense to me, because before iOS 14, when I had all my phones on iOS 13, battery life was actually pretty decent, especially around that iOS 13.5 to 13.6 ballpark, whatever. That was actually a really good battery life in my opinion. So I don't really think, I think it's an artificial kind of like decrease in battery. I think it'll get better over time. And I've said this before, I think Apple kind of does it on purpose. They purposely push out the same software updates the same time as the phone comes out to make you think that the older phone is horrible. I can definitely tell you the iPhone 11 still has good battery life. It's just going to eventually get better on iOS 14. If you're on iOS 13, I would encourage you to do your own test. I was going to downgrade it on iPhone 11. Unfortunately, I was not able to downgrade it. I'm going to try and find an iPhone 11 for sale that has iOS 13, but I can definitely tell you, I guess in this specific comparison, the iPhone 12 does have the better battery life, but I still think the iPhone 11 will probably overtake the iPhone 11's battery life very, very soon. We've seen it time and time again. I think when the iPhone XS came out and we compared it to the iPhone 10 when iOS 12 came out, I believe the first version, we saw that the iPhone XS was having better battery life because it was more optimized for that software. But I think over time, the iPhone 11 will eventually overtake it. I may do the same exact battery comparison maybe like a year from now or the end of iOS 14 to kind of see how it compares, but I guess that pretty much covers it up. For now, you're going to see extreme battery differences in my opinion, but I think over time it's probably going to equal out and the iPhone 11 may do better. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, if you agree or disagree with my battery comparison, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.